Hi, this is Mark, Hay Creek Stock Farm, haycreek.net. We're letting the cows into their little winter feeding paddock where they get supplement fed with rolled corn grain. It's already placed in their bins. Averages are probably about 50-60 pounds between for the whole herd. Probably averaged out to like 3 to 4 pounds per head. They're on really poor quality, what's locally known as meadow hay, so they need an additional source of energy. So there's not quite enough tubs to go around, but some of them are good about sharing. The older ones are used to members of their herd. They'll share in a bigger tub like that. They've been getting a break the past few days from their meadow hay, which they've been on maybe 3 weeks, and they don't really like. They've been getting a break on some alfalfa grass pasture, and they've been grazing on that. Even more so, it seems like, now that there's been about 10 inches of new snowfall. So their faces show the results of grazing through snow. I've had to call them in the past few days as they've been so intent on grazing out there, but today they're lined up ready to go. Come on, boss. 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 You guys are super shy, huh? This is the breeding cow herd, so they don't go to slaughter as grass-fed beef. So corn is an easily available, easily fed energy food to augment their low-quality hay. Get on the sunny side of them here. Let me through, you guys. Hey, let me through. Come on, let me through. Yesterday their faces were completely covered with snow, all of them. Today only a few of them have like icy balls of snow on their faces. the chunk of pasture they're on was fenced off so they'd have a place to go, or an attractive place to go, while I was placing the big round bales out in the adjacent pasture in a matrix. It's easy to fence off and open a chunk of fencing to get one bale at a time instead of a bale ring. So I needed a place to shunt the cows to while I was doing that. So that pasture got fenced off for them, and it didn't ever get fully used. So I decided to make use of the fencing placement and allow them on there as a little reward for a couple weeks of eating bales only. They've just been on their corn now for a few days, 5 days maybe. We're back within the hour after they were fed their corn. They're kind of chilling in here, rubbing on trees, standing perpendicular to the sunshine, soaking the sunshine up on their pelts, licking some mineral out of the tub. We gave them some salts and calcium and magnesium salts. We're going out to look at the pasture that they've had access to in the snow. The snowstorm was Saturday evening, Sunday morning, mostly Saturday AM, early AM. That's when the bulk of the snow fell. And it's Tuesday morning, around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock right now. So they've only been on it a couple of days, and you'll see the huge effect that they've had. We're following the main artery of the cow trail. They hate to move. So down to our left screen is where the yard of round bales is placed. But this cow trail, they've had free access to both. There's a round bale exposed, has been for over a week. No one has been down there to touch it. The trail goes exclusively straight ahead into the alfalfa grass pasture. This is the gate, enters the pasture. What we're looking at immediately in front of us is a chunk of this that was fenced off. You can see the bounds on our right, the churned up area. There was a fence running north and south, a portable fence running over there. They kept them from going to the east. This part right here, though, had been grazed by them earlier. So there's not a whole lot of action in here. There's sporadic digging around. There's a typical spot where they've nudged aside the snow and ate the grass underneath. But this was short to begin with. Wasn't much to be had in here. The bulk of the action takes place ahead of us here to the north, where the grass was longer. They had had fresh access to it just recently. Surprisingly, they seemed to like it better after the snowfall. They were sort of ignoring it initially and hadn't really consumed much. This is the bale yard over here. The 5x5 round bales spaced in a matrix. About 100 of them, around 40 tons. So right here ahead of us, you can can see the difference between the relatively untracked snow and the uniformly churned up snow, which signifies the relatively untouched part of the pasture. So here's that line on the left side, the older already grazed, and on the right side, the longer, relatively ungrazed pasture. And on the far demarcation, the north-south division fence that kept them from going onto that untracked snow. The bale yard. Everywhere you see, I mean, there's hardly a square yard of snow that hasn't been dug up in some way around. And there's quite a lot of snow. There's a classic over here. The fence wire itself, the poly wire, has been removed, but here's a post. They're frozen in the ground, impossible to remove. But here is typical. So they've dug with their muzzles through the snow, eaten the grass down, and because it was under, the wire basically, they couldn't trample it and make it look like this mess over here. So this is the actual grazing only, untrampled stuff. And the best stuff is always under the wire, we all know that. So, uniformly on down the line, every 2 feet, there's a spot where they've nuzzled through the snow, pushed the snow aside, ate the grass down as far as their tongues could grab a hold of it and bite it off with their teeth. So now they're excluded from this. They're not really getting that much out of it anymore. They're putting more energy into it probably than they're getting out of it. So it's fenced off, and they're going to be forced to deal with their round bales. There they are, waiting to get back in.